How to breed Danios. Zebra Danios are the most popular and most common of all Danios used in aquariums. Danios are from places like India and Pakistan and can be found in every type of water environment you can imagine, such as fast-moving streams, stagnant ponds, and so on. In addition to being a popular aquarium fish, zebra Danios are also very popular for breeding. The only downside to breeding Danios is that the adults like to eat their eggs and babies, so you have to use some tricks to protect the eggs so they'll grow into adults. 1. Creating the perfect breeding environment for your Danios. Separate male and female Danios. Start the breeding process by making sure you can tell the difference between your male and female Danios. Male Danios are normally skinnier than their female counterparts, and their colors are usually more vibrant. If the females have started to produce roe eggs, they'll look chubbier. Once you've sexed your Danios, place the males and females into separate tanks to prepare them for breeding. If you're having a hard time sexing your Danios before they've been conditioned, you may need to feed them premium live food for a couple of days before you'll be able to tell them apart. Once you can tell them apart, separate the males from the females. Feed your Danios high-quality live food. While your male and female Danios are in their own tanks, feed them high-quality live food. Live foods for Danios include Daphnia, bloodworm, and mosquito larvae. You should be able to find live food at most aquarium stores. Continue this process for 1 to 2 weeks before attempting to breed your Danios. If you are unable to obtain live food, you can use frozen food as an alternative. 4. You should notice the female Danios grow rounder as they're being conditioned. This is a great indication that they're developing a lot of roe and are ready to breed. Set up a breeding tank while you wait. After 1 to 2 weeks of conditioning, your adult Danios will be ready to breed. In order to be prepared, set up your breeding tank during the first week of conditioning. Your breeding tank can be between 5 and 10 gallons and should contain a filter with an airstone to help prevent the eggs from being sucked into the filter. If you use tap water for the tank, make sure to add a water dechlorinator to the water. Add a heater to the tank and keep the temperature between 72°F and 82°F. Choose between the marble method, the breeder net method, or the spawning mop method for the configuration of your breeding tank. Once you know what configuration method you want to use, you'll know how much water needs to be put in the tank. Move your Danios to the breeding tank. Once 1 to 2 weeks have passed, move your Danios to the breeding tank you've set up. It is best to partner 2 males for every 1 female you move over. Normally Danios will breed within 24 hours of being placed in the breeding tank. If they do not, leave them for another 24 hours. If 48 hours pass with no spawning, put your Danios back in their separate conditioning tanks for a little longer, and continue to feed them live food. Try breeding the Danios again in another week or so. Spawning simply means the female Danios have laid eggs and the male Danios have fertilized the eggs. Since you can't tell if the eggs are fertilized, the best thing to do is watch for eggs at the bottom of the tank. Once you see eggs, you know your Danios have spawned and you can move the adults back to their regular tanks. Remove the adult Danios once they've spawned. Once you see Danio eggs in the breeding tank, remove the adult Danios and put them back in their regular tanks. If you used a breeder net, removal will be very easy. If you used the marble or mop methods, you'll need to use a fish net to capture the Danios in order to move them. Since adult Danios will always try to eat the eggs of their young, it is always a good idea to remove the adults from the tank with the eggs. The baby Danios aren't really safe from the adults until they're all about the same size. Once your baby Danios have reached adult size, you can put the sons with the fathers and the daughters with the mothers. Although, for genetic purposes, you may want to keep track of the different generations if you are planning to breed them again.